Hello students, today we are going to study one more application of multiple images. Like yesterday we had discussed a diagram, or we had discussed an example that when we go to a barber's shop and there are parallel mirrors installed over there, so as a result of that we are able to get multiple images or infinite number of images. So today again we are going to study one more condition, how we can get multiple images, that multiple images. Now one application of multiple images is we can get multiple images by the help of a device called kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope is basically a device which at times children also play during their young age to watch beautiful patterns that they can see in through it. Now let us try to understand how we can actually make a kaleidoscope by ourselves. So in order to make a kaleidoscope we need to have three rectangular mirror strips. These are basically three rectangular mirror strips and of course the dimension of each of the mirror strips should be equal. Like suppose this is 15 centimeter, so all of them will have the same dimension, can be any dimension of your choice. It can be 15 by say 4 centimeter or 15 by 5 centimeter, any dimension of our choice. Then after doing this, what we are going to do is we are going to join all these three mirror strips in a triangular form. So when we join it in this triangular form, it will more or less takes the shape of a triangular pyramid. Then what we are going to do, there will be two ends of this device which is known as kaleidoscope. At one end what we are going to do, we are going to cut a triangular triangle which is slightly bigger than this opening or the cut, and then we will also cut a transparent sheet, and then we are going to put it over here at this end by the help of this tracing paper as well as the transparent sheet by the help of a cello tape or a plastic tape. And then inside this device we can keep or we can put small things like small pieces of glass, small glass pieces. Then we can put some beads also into it. Then if you want you can put some bangle pieces also inside it. And then when we put all these things, after putting all these things, we can close the other end of this kaleidoscope. We can close this other end of the kaleidoscope also by cutting a triangular cardboard, and we can fix a small hole into that triangular cardboard so that we can see or we can look into it. So what is going to happen is that basically when we the hole should be sufficient enough so that we are able to look through it. Now what will happen after we have put small grains and things like small glass pieces, beads and bangles, and then we put this hold this kaleidoscope and we watch it against the light. So what will happen, some amount of light will pass through this translucent paper sheet, and when we watch it from this end through the small opening that we have made in the cardboard, what we will see beautiful patterns of light being formed. Now why this happens? What this happens because when the light enters, small amount of light enters from this end, the objects which are present over there inside it, they go multiple reflection inside this kaleidoscope, that is from and light from these objects, it will go and strike the first mirror, then the second mirror, and then into the third mirror, and this pattern happens many number of times. So this results in forming very beautiful patterns, as many of you might have also seen it in by your eyes also. And the application of this kaleidoscope is that this kaleidoscope is used for many things, like for example it is used in fabric industries for getting for printing various designs of the clothes, various patterns of the clothes. Then at times it is these patterns are also used for designing the what is called backstage also. For all these things basically kaleidoscope is used, and it works because there are multiple reflection which is happening within these devices as a result of these three mirrors, which results in forming the multiple images. So now we have basically seen two examples. Yesterday we saw example of example where we go to a barber shop and we get multiple images, and then kaleidoscope also helps us to basically get multiple images. Next, what we are going to study is about, now many times we wonder what is the light that we get from sunlight, is it white or colored? Now best way to understand that is, yes, of course we know that a white light comprises of 7 different colors. Now the best way to understand whether the sunlight is a white light or a colored light is, we can allow the sunlight to pass through a glass prism, as we can see over here. We can do it in our homes also, like early morning we can hold a prism against the direction of sunlight at a certain angle, and then we can watch the other end. We can keep an object, like for example we can keep a white paper there as a screen. So if light is allowed to pass, or if it is allowed to pass through a glass prism at a certain angle, what happens, this white light, it splits up into 7 different component colors, and the order of the colors are like first color or at the color that is emerging from the bottom of the prism is violet, followed by indigo, then blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. So if we see, when a white light or a sunlight, when it is allowed to pass through a given glass prism, and if it splits up into 7 constituent colors, that means that the sunlight is a white light. And this process of dispersion of splitting of sunlight into 7 different colors on passing through a glass prism at a certain angle, this is known as the dispersion of light. So we can also say that dispersion is the process of splitting of white light when it passes through a glass prism into 7 constituent colors. And of course, if it splits up into 7 constituent colors, definitely it is a white light and it comprises of 7 different colors. And if suppose instead of sunlight, if we are passing some other light, it will not split up into 7 different colors. That means it is not a white light.